Welcome to Small Town Bonsai and Bonsai Therapy again. Today I'm with my friend John Cornelison. We're friends from the Bonsai Club, and he wanted me to help him with this Bald Cypress. He got this Bald Cypress right here at the convention, Florida convention last year, from Underhill Bonsai. So it is a well-developed tree. It has a fantastic nebari right here. It's pretty big, pretty thick for that kind of tree. And so today we're going to give it a first styling. The first styling is going to give me a few options. It's going to give me, I'm going to allow the tree to keep some branches just in case in the future we want to change the style a little bit. So what you're going to see today is not going to be a final product, obviously. It's going to be just the beginning of a bonsai becoming a bonsai. So here we go. Let's see. So the first decision we have to make is we're looking around the nebari, the trunk where the roots come out, and we want to see where the thickest part is. And as I was looking at the tree, it seemed to me like this part, I put these wires here to more or less give me where the center is. So I think that this would be the nicest nebari that I can find in this tree. So, so we're gonna work with this tree based on this. Once again, this is the very first styling. So this could change in the future, but as of right now, we're gonna work it in that direction. All right, let's clean it up a little bit. First, these branches right here are too low, so we don't need to keep those. We're gonna clean it a little bit. Now, when I'm looking at the front, right there, we could either do what they call a Bald Cypress flat top, which would be mostly all the foliage on the top right here, kind of like what you see in the swamps when you look at these trees in the swamps. But we could also go traditional, depending on what's going to happen with the foliage and how it grows and how it develops later on. So for now, I'm going to leave some of these little branches right on the sides, just to make sure that we have those options in the future. So, but looking at the front right here, there's a lot of things that would be pointing towards me, so those have to go. I'm gonna go ahead and clean those. This one is almost broken. So, see this branch, I could move a little bit. So we have 1, 2. This one is probably gonna have to go in the future, but for now I'm gonna keep it. This would be branches that I want to keep. But the main thing is this one I don't need. And probably this one neither. So notice that I'm leaving this bulges right here. I'm not cutting it and I'm not using concave cutters, because if you see in nature, when you go to next time you go to a pond or something like that and you see one of these, you'll notice that where the branches break, they create little bulges around them. So we want to kind of do that same thing, so it looks a little bit more natural, more like in nature. All right, so we want to work with this branch right here. If you notice from the front, these 2 branches right here are starting to give me reverse taper, or as I like to call it, chicken head. So you have the neck and then starts growing, bulging out. So that needs to be corrected. We want to keep good taper on the tree. In order to do that, we're going to have to eliminate this right here. I'm going to start by taking off those bigger branches, and then we'll see if we need to cut it down a little bit right there. Mind if I throw this on the ground? Perfect. Okay. go. Good. All right. And we see this one in the back also. It's a little too much. So we can't always catch this because, if you have a lot of trees, it's hard to pay attention to every single tree. But when you're developing them, if you happen to catch this, that you made a cut and a lot of branches are developing from that cut, it would be it would be in your interest to decide which one you want to keep and then take off everything else. Because if you have a lot of those, then it's going to start getting wider in every direction, and it's not going to give you that taper that you're looking for. All right. So now we started to see that this is where I'm going to go with that. Let me see if I can cut this without using the saw. It might be a little too hard, and I might need to saw it down, but let's see. Oh, I think I can do it without the saw. If I can create a little bit more taper without the saw, that would be excellent. And hello. Right now we're just gonna try to fix that taper probably. This direction. We might have to clean it up a little bit more in the future, but that's fine. So it seems to me like I'm gonna need to use the saw after all. So I'll try to be careful here to keep the right angle without cutting myself. Last time I used this saw, I did what I just did right now. Scratch my my skin with. Okay, you don't mind holding the trunk? Yeah, there we go. Because this little thing is incredibly sharp, and it'll talk to you right away. As soon as it touches your skin, all of a sudden. Yep, there we go. I'm trying to protect this right here. That's why we can use it. Nice and tight. Okay. Let's see if I don't cut myself here. It's trying to get me. Yep, it's trying to get me again. Almost there, almost there. Be patient. Where's it going now? You just make sure we're cutting. Yep. You can do it. There we go. Oh, wow. Yep. It's almost there. So, just open it up a little bit right here. Get in there. And that's my workout for the day.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right. So now we're starting to resolve a little bit the issue with taper there. Just gonna clean it up a little bit more. Right here. What we're trying to resolve is that issue that it looked like the reverse taper was coming on. So I'm gonna take care of that. All right. One thing I do like about bald cypresses is that when they're in this dormant stage, they can take incredible amount of abuse. I've done some crazy stuff to my trees while they're dormant, and then once winter is gone and they wake up, it's like nothing happened. So in that sense, I feel very confident by working them when they're in the dormant state. Right. I'm just going to make this a little bit lower here. Now we're going to take a razor later on to clean this wound. And then we're going to put some sealant. Make sure it starts healing. And after some time, you won't even realize that there was a wound there. Okay. Let's see. Now you see where the top is going. See how it has a lot more taper. So as this gets thicker, you'll start seeing something much better. So let's take a look at now those little branches right down there. I'm gonna use a 1.5 wire. Because quite frankly, these are very young branches. I'm not gonna touch the tips because this branch, I would strongly recommend that you let it grow if you want to go more traditional style in the future. If you let it grow that way so it gets thicker, and then we can bring it down and start doing a lot of branching. But for now, we're just gonna keep it here, give it a little bit of shape, just to make it look a little bit more professional in that sense. I'm gonna come around this way. I'll use that same wire for this one right here. When you're wiring, remember 1 wire to 2 branches is the golden rule. One wire to 2 branches. All right. So just to give it a little bit of movement, just a little bit this way. And these are kind of interesting when you're doing this. Don't be surprised if you ever do this and you feel like you're popping bubble wrap. That's very normal with this branches. It's something that they do inside. Uh-oh, it seems like we're gonna get a little bit of rain. Oh. Okay, so we got branches. Nancy, your hair. All right. So now we have one, two, right? I was gonna keep that, but I'm gonna do that. Probably gonna do this one. Yeah. Okay, let's get a little bit more wire. These are slightly thicker, so I'm gonna use a number 2. There's the number 2 for these. Once again, 1 wire for 2 branches. And if you notice, when you're wiring, don't forget this little detail. I know a lot of you are experts in this stuff, but I still want to mention it. Hold the wire with one hand and turn it with the other. That way you don't end up breaking branches. You give support to where the bent is going. And like my teacher said, the thickness of your wire is so you can wrap the wire around the branch, not the branch around the wire. So that's an interesting detail there. So this, just in case in the future we decide to go with a little bit more traditional style, give it a little movement here. And we're probably going to shorten that up a little bit. And the top branches are going to kind of imitate a little bit the movement of the bottom. That gives us a little bit of movement. There we go. All right. That, and we'll see if we want to use this one, but this is a little thicker right here, so we're going to use I think I'm going to go a little thicker using number 4. Especially when you're dealing with thicker branches, if you notice, see the handle right here? That's not how you do it. You put your hand right there, and this goes on the palm of your hand right there. So when you close, you can put more pressure, especially for a thicker wire. Much easier to cut than if I try to do that. So just a little tip. All right. So we need to wrap this one around. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this little one right here as an anchor. Boom. I'm going to come around this way. Around a little bit of wire. Now, I'm going to give it a little movement this way. These trees are quite flexible. You'd be surprised if the wire's not holding. We might need to double it, but we just need to give a little bit of movement. Yep. Give it a little bit more. And there. We might need to double the wire. That's a little bit of thicker branch than I expected, which is okay, part of the process. double it just to make sure that I can give it proper shape. So, and when you do that double, you want to keep it as tight, as close to the other one, to the first branch, to the first wire, without crisscrossing. We're just going to follow that. And that's going to make it nice and tight. Now, when we bend, it should hold, see, holds a lot better. And then I'm going to bend this way to give it a little bit more shape. And then we're going to come in this direction. Right there. So now we have a little bit of movement going that way. This way too tall, obviously. So we're gonna have to bring it down. I would bring it down to like right here, so my tree comes this way. You agree with that? So I'm gonna remove this from here. And not that I can predict the future, but with these trees, it's not that hard. When they pop back up in the spring, there's gonna be buds coming out of everywhere. So you'll have buds from here, from everywhere. So at that time, what you want to do is make a decision and clean whatever you don't want to keep, leave everything you want to keep growing, and then maybe in the future later on, you'll have more stuff growing. More options, even more options. So those branches that we have left right there, we're gonna wire, and so like I said at the beginning, these branches I'm leaving in case we want to do more traditional style. These I'm gonna leave in case we want to do more of a flat top kind of thing. So. And for those of you watching this video, this is February, 29th, 30th? January 29th or 30th, I'm completely lost. And it's really cold, starting to sprinkle a little bit. It's unusually cold for Florida. We're supposed to be this weekend in the teens, and it's gonna be like 17, 18 degrees. It's crazy. I thought I lived in Florida. But now bald cypresses can take it very well. That kind of cold doesn't bother them. This tree is asleep. And we're gonna have one back. That's this one here. Now the back branch is what's going to give you that depth in the. Remember, bonsai is a visual art. So if you don't have a back branch, then it looks like a two-dimensional figurine. In this case, we want to make sure we have a back also. I'm going to give it a little bit of shape. And basically, that's all my wiring. Now I'm going to cut this one just a little short right there. This one right here to start giving me that more triangular shape. Now this, even though it does have a little bit of movement here. So like I said, future traditional tree if we want to go this way. These are future flat top if we want to go that way. So looking at that and some around here. And then go back right there. Possible flat top right here. Possible traditional bonsai with all the branches right there. And that's it. The only thing I have left to do is clean this back wound, put some sealer, and the tree is ready to grow for another year or two. All right.
That's beautiful.
Does that make sense?
Perfect sense.
You happy with it?
It's amazing. So I'm just amazed at the quality of your transformation.
Oh wow, thank you. That's crazy. Don't make me feel like that. I don't deserve it.
Sorry, you're a bonsai master.
No, I'm not. I'm a bonsai student.
Yeah, you are. You're there. You know it.
I'm a student. No, I'm just a student. Let me get the. Where's my razors? Let's see. I kind of like this stuff, you know. Just a little bit. So super careful with razor, right? But why do we do this, John?
I don't know, to tell you the truth.
A clean wound is much easier for the tree to heal. So we use a razor to clean this wound as much as I can. See this branch right here broke. Don't think that. But that one is not that important because we have this back branch right here. So it does happen. So when you do a clean cut, then it's much easier for the tree to heal. Did I say something?
We were talking about the dogs crying back there like they're...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I have to be super careful with my fingers because it's not the first time I cut myself. Probably won't be the last one if I do it today. Nice and clean border right here as much as I can. All the middle right here is just going to get covered as it starts healing eventually. Good deal. Much cleaner wound, much easier to heal. And we definitely want this to heal. And then, as clearly stated in the container, is sealer. When it comes to Japanese, I'm completely illiterate here. I have no idea what that container says, but I trust that it is sealer. So we want to seal the wound so there's no humidity going in there and staying in there. That avoids viruses, avoids illnesses to get in there through the cut. If it's tiny cuts like those, it doesn't matter. That's too small. But with a big wound like this, we want to make sure we use some kind of sealer. Some people use glue. If you don't have anything else, you can use glue. or you can even use electrical potty. Potty? Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah.
Potty? Yeah.
Now, some people like Les say that you need to put the sealer on first as an antibacterial, and then put the putty on as a cover. You ever heard that?
Yes, yes. And as a matter of fact, I have done that too. Especially with trees that are more delicate, I want to do that and make sure that they're completely covered. With both cypresses, I've used this only, and it seems like it works well. But yeah, that takes care of that.